Okay, so this video can basically be a demonstration of how to use piano playing without a band, piano playing alone to communicate the feel, the groove of a song, and to make the dynamic changes happen between verses and choruses so that things don't sound the same way all the way through the tune and people just sort of zone out. And the first example would be a song like Titanium, which starts out with a ballad feel, so you can start out something like this.
Shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say. You're talking loud, not saying much. You criticize, but all your bullets ricochet. You shoot it down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, and then to lose. Far away, ricochet, take your aim. Far away, shoot me down, I'll fall. I am titanium. Shoot me down, I'll fall. I am titanium. I am titanium.
So that shows you the difference between ballad feel, and then when you get to the build-up, a very distinct difference and change in the feel. So there's a change coming, you're sort of signaling that, and then as you're rising up, so you raise the octave of the right hand, bring the whole dynamic up. So again, a big change, the chorus gets big. You're playing these really heavy octaves to get the rhythm across, and you could even bring the left hand down an octave while you bring the right hand up an octave to make it sound even deeper. So instead of, you can do like this, which works very well, or you could drop it down. That is kind of a judgment call depending on if you feel it needs to be bigger. You could keep it in this octave and still be fine and nice and beefy. And for the second verse of Titanium, again to show a difference, you would could maybe change to something like this. Be a little more deliberate on the second verse, because depending on what mix you're listening to of Titanium, there's a bunch of mixes out there. But the second verse is going to be a bit different than the first verse. So you may want to suggest that, okay, now there's more drums, or there's a little more distinctive rhythm going on. And so use that for the second verse, and then break it up again for the pre-chorus, and do the same kind of thing. And that really can work really well. And this kind of idea can be applied to lots of different songs. Because if you just play that ballad feel, shoot me down, but I'll fall, I'm titanium. If you have that through the entire song and it never changes, even if your vocal is really strong, what's underneath, it's not going to change, and you're going to lose people. Especially in an atmosphere like Hal at the Moon or a club like that. When you have no drums behind you, you got to really make a distinctive difference, and this applies to, like I said, lots and lots of different tunes. Another example would be Teenage Dream, where you can start it out again with a bit of a ballad feel. Actually, I would do it in this key.
You're thinking pretty without any makeup on, thinking funny, but I tell the punchline wrong. I let my walls come down.
Now you could do that, or you could go.
Thinking pretty without any makeup on, thinking funny, but I tell the punchline wrong. I let the walls come down, down. Let's go all the way tonight. No regrets.
Again, you can build it up.
We can dance until we die. You and I can be young forever.
And then bring the right hand up.
You and me, we're not living a teenage dream. Got to turn me on, I can't see. We're gonna wait, don't ever look back. Don't ever look back. My heart stops the way you look at me.
Etc., etc. So you got basically broken octaves with your left hand, which hopefully you can see. You would do more, the rhythmic, just single notes, either down here or up here. But the broken octaves combined with the chords being either it can be a little more sparse and just sort of accenting while the left hand is still moving. And between the two of them, the two hands will get that feeling across. And another example would be, like I said, you want to make the different parts of the song feel distinctive from one another. So you don't want the verses and the choruses to all blend. If you play them all like this, like literally through the entire song, it's not going to work. Another example that I often give, and I'll wrap it up with this one, is Save Tonight from Eagle Eye Cherry. I'm playing the chords wrong, but you get the idea. We have the verse be like that, a little lower dynamic, a little sexier, but very rhythmic. And then when you come into the chorus, again, it's the same chords over and over again. So you want to break that up. You want to bring the dynamic up. You can raise your right hand, make your chords more sustained. So you get the verse. Now you know I have to go. All I wish it wasn't so. Save tonight. At the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. So chords on top are big and sustained in a higher octave. You're bringing the whole dynamic up, maybe giving a little more sustained pedal, but not too much. You use hardly any during the verses. The sustained pedal can be your friend when you're trying to make big pads and big things happen, but you got to avoid it when you're trying to be rhythmic and a little more down in the dirt like this. Don't need hardly any sustained pedal for something like that. And again, you don't have to do anything that you see me doing. You don't have to do it exactly this way. It's just a basic concept, you know, where the bass is doing this. And that little extra note you're hearing is the fifth in between as it's rolling up and down. So that pattern, that kind of pattern can work. It can be, or the octave, you know, like on Titanium, you know, the rolling octave back and forth kind of thing. That can work on a lot of dance tunes, especially when you're using your right hand on that, you know. Be musical with that as opposed to going. Or neither one of those patterns would probably work very well. It's going to sound a little too choppy unless you're being very deliberate, like. And you build up to the chorus kind of thing. So again, there's lots of possibilities, lots of ways to play around with it, but you need to make the most use of what you're feeling rhythmically and communicate that through your hands. So no matter whether there's a band behind you or not, you're making that happen for the listener. And the songs actually have some rising and falling and dynamic, and things don't sound the same all the way through. So that's kind of the scoop on that. I apologize for my singing voice. I'm getting over a cold. I hope this helped. Thanks.